After presumably drinking too much wine and not making the sane choice of heading back to my hotel straight away, I embarked on a late-night adventure on the bank of La Seine, Paris' main river. Alright, so folks, I'm walking along the Seine River, and they call Paris the city of light, but it's actually really dark for some reason. I'm not sure. That's another one of those misnomer or whatever. So I'm not sure if that description is even accurate. I mean, the only light I see is a beam of light that came from the top of Eiffel Tower. Please don't tell me that's the reason why you call the city a city of light. But I would say this city is darker than 99% of the cities I've been at night. Wow, I still can't believe that people call Paris a city of light, and that's how the city is famous for. But the reality is that it's just pitch dark. I'm not sure you can see it over there. That's actually the Louvre, but still, it's pretty dark. There we go. That's the gate to the Louvre. And here comes iPhone 13 Pro. Yeah, like seriously, this is world's #1 museum, and you just got a banner of an iPhone advertisement just hanging there. Is that because the iPhone is counted as a piece of art or something? But seriously, like if I were the management of the Louvre, I wouldn't do this. I've never seen anything like this in other places before. Okay, so I'm right now at the bridge that goes to the Louvre. I mean, to be honest, actually I like the night here in Paris, although it's definitely not a city of light. Trust me. Again, if you want to call a little laser that comes on top from the Eiffel Tower and make that the reason why you call this place the city of light, I think that's interesting, that's funny. And I'm looking at the light right now. Like I said, there are many places that has buildings with stronger lights. And also, buildings that have way better lighting than the buildings in Paris. Not sure if this was the only city that had lights, 100 years ago. But nowadays, if you go to Budapest, you go to St. Petersburg, you go to Vienna, those cities looks much more amazing than Paris at night. But still, compared to the day, I think Paris at night is better. And you know what, I think it's not bad, but personally I think just not as exciting as the ones in the cities just mentioned. What about something exciting then? Once I crossed Pont des Arts, I arrived at the Louvre once again. This time, there were no crowds, no dramas, and it felt like that the whole place belonged to me and a few others who were there. Yeah, the funny story is I realized that either early morning or at night, you don't see a lot of people in famous landmarks like the Louvre or the Eiffel Tower. These are actually the best times to view those places too. You have pretty much, the world famous the Louvre and Eiffel Tower all by yourself. Oh, I mean seriously, Tiffany? Wow. So after iPhone 13, we've got Tiffany on the side of the Louvre as well. I mean, last time I heard about this brand, it was from Donald Trump. This guy was bragging about how he beat this company and bought the air right of Tiffany's building in New York so he could build his Trump Tower. Well, you know what? Turns out that Tiffany wasn't a loser. Yes, Tiffany sold the air right to Trump, but Tiffany got a place for itself here at the Louvre. However, Little did I realize at the moment was that my filming equipment were not perfectly suitable for filming at night. Therefore, I did not end up filming something like Paris landmarks by night. It was already late by the time I reached the Louvre, so I decided that I would reconvene our late-night Paris walking tour along La Seine the next day.
Good morning, everyone. So finally I was able to get some breakfast, and I was so hungry yesterday. I stayed up a bit too late because the subway got stuck in the middle of the tunnel, and when I got back to the hotel it was already past midnight, and of course I had to wake up late today, so I was in a hurry. Anyways, today I'm going to explore the neighborhood of Montmartre. Yeah, so I just went to McDonald's for real quick and then finish it here. Now I feel energetic. It's a strange feeling. I kind of just feel like Mexico City in this part of Paris. Yeah, so far I would say there's nothing surprising about the city. It's essentially, again, a larger version of Budapest. The parts of it really reminds me of Mexico City, although not as big and crowded as Mexico City. What are we waiting for? Let's go explore.
If you're somewhat familiar with Paris, you know Montmartre. It is considered as the most artistic district of Paris, at least according to travel guidebooks and the number of so-called artists who try to draw a picture of you in exchange for money over there.
Behind me, that's the Wall of Love. So it's essentially a wall with love-related words written in different languages.
I guess it doesn't matter how the word love is written in which language. Most tourists who are out of shape like myself will certainly not be in love with the stairs of hilly Montmartre.
Yeah, I realized that they actually have a funicular that goes up to the main cathedral in Montmartre. So I believe that my monthly pass will also cover the funicular as well. So let's go head to the funicular.
Yep, you heard that right. While funiculars in many other world-famous cities are just another way to make huge profits of tourists, in Paris, they are a form of public transit covered by your transit pass. Yeah, it might not be something fancy, but hey, at least they'll give everybody a chance to experience how riding a funicular is like. Don't want to ride a funicular? No worries. You can always take the stairs right next to the tracks. If you call the Montmartre funicular Stairway to Heaven, you are probably not wrong. At the end of the funicular ride is one of the grandest churches of Paris, La Basilique du Sacré-Cœur. Like the glassy pyramid of the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower, there were controversies surrounding this magnificent basilica after its completion. Being the neighborhood where the Paris Commune, some say the world's very first socialist regime that briefly took control of Paris, started. The timing and the location of the basilica's construction were seen as France and the Catholic Church's deliberate response to the defeat of the Paris Commune. as Commune supporters were mostly anti-religion. As a functioning church today, the interior of La Basilique du Sacré-Cœur, which is of Neo-Byzantine style, might not be as impressive as some of the churches we'll visit later in this France adventure, but you will nonetheless get to see the centerpiece of Neo-Byzantine churches. They're mosaics. But for folks who are not that interested in either religion or architecture, the Basilica still has one more reason for you to visit: its commanding view of the city of Paris.
I'll be watching you. Oh, can't you see? You belong to me. Oh, my morning, what you said today, and we move your man. By the way, smile you make, and you plan to stay. I'll be watching you.
Of course, Montmartre is not all about La Basilique du Sacré-Cœur. The neighborhood itself is equally interesting.
I would say that so far, Montmartre is my favorite part of Paris. I mean, it's still kind of like I've seen it somewhere. Like it could just be anywhere in Prague, in Budapest, again, even Mexico City. But if you ever come to Paris, I highly recommend visiting this area. At least, you know, it's peaceful and the vibe is unique.
Montmartre, a historically progressive neighborhood, was not only the birthplace of radical movements like the Paris Commune. It was also once the home to many famous painters such as Monet, Picasso, and Van Gogh, who also had works inspired by Montmartre. Today, it is home to, well, surprisingly, an urban vineyard and many painters who chase after tourists in order to draw a picture of guess who. As a broke YouTuber, I found an alternative way to get around this, thanks to some of iMovie's clip filters. Not bad, huh? Today, Montmartre is a relatively affluent neighborhood. While it's not large in size, being one of the few hilly places in Paris definitely makes Montmartre stand out as a must visit. The next stop on our Paris adventure is a cemetery. Like mentioned earlier, Montmartre was the place where the Paris Commune started. This cemetery was where the final defeat of the Paris Commune took place. I'm surprised that there were very little information out there about this chapter of French history, especially by English language travel guidebooks. I had no idea that this place was even associated with Paris Commune, and there was even a memorial to the communards who fought and died for what they believed in. In the same year, Eugène Poitiers, a former member of the Paris Commune, wrote a poem called For an International Movement for a Fair World for the Working Class, as well as the fight against the oppressors who took advantages of the ordinary working people. 11 years later, Père de Gaîté, a Belgian socialist composer, wrote the music for Potier's poem. Do you know this song? I'm pretty sure you have heard it. I am 100% sure. However, the main reason why I decided to visit Cimetière du Père Lachaise had nothing to do with the Paris Commune. I went there to pay respect to two people that some of you may know as well.
Since this is a public cemetery, I better stay quiet to show some respect.
This is a huge public cemetery that is the final resting place of both ordinary Parisians and some famous people. With the help of an English language guidebook, I was able to navigate through relatively easily without getting lost there. Eventually, I found the final resting places of the two people I came to this cemetery to pay respect to, Frédéric Chopin and Oscar Wilde. They inspired me to stay true like Chopin's love for Poland, and not to become like Dorian Gray. Every time I hear the nocturne, it's not just the solitude and the darkness of the night. Remember, we're all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. Our adventure through the neighborhoods of Paris continues. Where are we going next? Follow me to the next episode.
I would say so far this is my favorite part of Paris.